Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Friday, the 16th of March, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar. Still just holding on to that bullish trend above the cloud from yesterday, but pulling back. We really are in this range at the moment at around the 90 points level on the dollar index, and we can see that just showing up. The last few weeks we've just been really running in a sideways fashion, so directionless short term at the moment, and much the same picture of course to the euro, which has been in this range, the 123 124 range, and we're just sitting around that level, and we can see that just playing for the last really several weeks. We've just been running sideways. Taking a look at dollar against the yen, here we have seen the trend just continuing, a little bit like a descending triangle here, where we're just testing and pushing lower, and we've got quite a lot of downside targets hitting resistance there. So dollar weakness really showing up against the yen, or yen strength. Taking a look at sterling, sitting at this 139, just touching the 140 level, but not quite managing to get through. And looking at sterling against the euro, we see here just a slight rise, sterling just improving slightly against the euro. And against the Swiss franc, we're seeing that same rise continuing, and against the Aussie dollar also, sterling just moving quite strongly over the last couple of days, so Aussie dollar weakness. Bitcoin just sitting at this $8,000 level, so really just struggling there. And if we look at the long-term chart, we are just starting to come through on the price, but bearish in the short term. No clear downside targets. There is one for 7,500, 7,300. The targets on Bitcoin, you really need to be looking at the 1-minute charts. Taking a look at the S&P 500, we see here we're just holding on to that bull trend at the moment. So US markets did come off a little bit yesterday, but are still holding on to the recovery trend. We're seeing that with Nasdaq as well. The Dow was up slightly, and so we see just holding the bull trend just, and the Russell 2000 much the same picture. So we are seeing an improvement there. Taking a look at the S&P 500 future, it's just hanging bearish below the cloud at the moment, so just short-term bearish, and the Nasdaq E-mini much the same. No clear heads up as to which way the markets will open today. Quite a flat performance over the last few days for the markets generally. Taking a look at FTSE 100, up slightly this morning, but again just really in the doldrums, and time is elapsing that this recovery is not really kicking in Europe, so that's a little bit worrying. The DAX also just recovering, but not a strong recovery by any means, and the CAC Quant also into recovery mode, more so than the UK market, looking a little bit better, but again just that is a bit of a struggle. The Nikkei, this is the 400, the Japanese market, just still looking bearish in that medium term. So we are just seeing that struggle, and again we're just struggling to get into bullish territory here. So Asia still looking weak. Really, all these markets taking a heads up from wanting to see a stronger performance on the US. Hang Seng stronger, the Chinese market flat, and the Sensex also just sinking lower as well. The Australian market also just struggling to get through on the bullish. So most global stock markets at the moment just looking bearish short term. Brent crude back above the $65 level, not convincingly, but it is back all the same. WTI is just sitting flat at the moment. But we are just no clear signs of direction there, and US Natgas falling away yesterday on those storage numbers, down to $2.68, so really pushing lower, and we've got a downside target on the short term to 253, not yet activated, but this does look like this low will come under pressure. Taking a look at gold, gold's sitting at $1,318, back into bearish territory, a slightly stronger dollar yesterday pushing it back lower, and silver also just pushing lower as well, so bearish on the short term. US 10-year note sitting at 2.82% on the yield, so we are just seeing that bearish trend continuing there. And of course the tech giants, much in line with yesterday, we're just seeing just struggling to hold any gains here. So Apple, Amazon, that has been the star we've talked about each day. Amazon did come back a bit yesterday, but still looking very strong. Google It's certainly taking its time to just get back in above this previous high. Not managed it yet like Amazon has, but the trend is one of a higher low and then a higher high, so we are looking pretty good there. Facebook just still sitting in these low 180s, can't break that out into the 190s as hard as it tries. Lots of upside targets still there on Facebook, but we're just spending a lot of time going sideways. And Microsoft, it's just flattening out a little bit, but still looking very good long term. That's it for today. Have a great weekend. Until Monday, happy charting. See you then.